she says, a married woman committed zina and got pregnant. What happens if she abort, and what happens if she bear the child and keep it without her husband's and the father's knowledge, of whom the child belongs to? Now, such questions are depressing. How would a married woman fall down into such low level? You know that in Islam, if an unmarried individual fornicates and he's caught red-handed, or he or she confesses, the punishment is to be flogged 100 lashes. This is mentioned in the Quran. While if a person is married or was previously married or divorced or a widow, and he or she commits the act of adultery, in this case the punishment would be to be stoned to death. And stoning to death is a punishment in Islam only for a person who was previously married or is still married committing the act of adultery, which shows you how severe this sin is. And by the way, this is the only sin to be punished through stoning. If you go through the Bible, there are 6 or 7 different sins, including adultery, that are punished by stoning. So don't jump the gun and say, look how Islam is barbaric, etc. This is a divine law. This is the religion of Allah Azza wa Jal, and He knows what is best. And He knows, subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is suitable for His creation. So when people rely on man-made laws, they tend to failure and destruction. 50 years ago, homosexuality was banned all over the world. It was illegal. It was hated and abhorred by everyone. Look, 50 years later, what happens now? They're teaching it to the kindergarten kids. They're teaching it in every way they can to legalize it, to make it the norm, so that definitely destruction will befall upon them because they go against Allah's law. This is man-made law. They change. While the divine law was made by the one and only who knows us, because He created us and He knows what's best for us. We have a short break. Afterwards, inshallah, we'll continue and answering Hafsa's questions, so stay tuned. Just before the break, Hafsa asked a question. And the question is problematic because it deals with a very complicated issue. A married woman who felt into sin and conceived out of this sin, and she does not know what to do. So she asks a question, or Hafsa is asking on her behalf. Can she abort the pregnancy? And abortion is not permissible, and this is the consensus of scholars, if it is 4 months of age and more. So if it's 120 days, it is totally prohibited. And a lot of the scholars say if the pregnancy is less than 40 days, then aborting it is permissible, because this is not even a piece of flesh. The flesh is not, or has not been formed yet to that degree. And after 40 days, they say that it is, the majority say that this is not permissible. Both ways, we say that she had committed a major sin. But what is she to do now? If she tells her husband that this child is not his, or tells her father, it would cause so much fitna and tribulation, and it would jeopardize not only her own immediate family, but her siblings, her family reputation, her children's reputation. And this is why she's advised not to tell anyone. First of all, she is advised to repent to Allah, to seek His forgiveness, to express remorse, to express true and sincere remorse, and to try her level best to do good deeds and stay away from sin, hoping that Allah would forgive her sin. Secondly, the Prophet ﷺ said, الولد للفراش وللعاهر الحجر, which translates to that when a woman is pregnant and she's married, then by default the pregnancy, the child born, belongs to the husband, unless the husband objects and refuses to accept that to be his own offspring. So therefore, you're advised not to talk about this, repent to Allah Azza wa Jal, and the child would be attributed to your husband, who is the owner of the bed or of the of al-firash, which the child was born on, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best.